What's going on, y'all? Machiavelli Mills TV. So look, y'all, St. Louis rapper Sexyy Red, she found herself in some hot water yesterday when she went on Twitter and posted a picture of her and Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. dancing, looking like they were holding hands together, looking like they slow dancing in a club together, staring in each other's eyes romantically. Like that looked crazy. They looked like they were on a romantic date, dancing together, slow dancing together, holding each other's hands. And in the picture, it looked like they were 2 minutes or 2 seconds away from leaning in on each other, right? Now, let me say they aren't leaning in on each other in the picture. You can see the picture in the thumbnail of this video. But the way they holding each other's hands, like stargazing in each other's eyes, looking like they on some type of romantic outing together, it looked crazy, right? And so Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s daughter, Miss Bernice King, she let Sexyy Red know she didn't find this picture funny. She says, and I quote, this is intentionally distasteful, dishonoring, deplorable, and disrespectful to my family and father, who is not here to respond himself because he was assassinated for working for your civil and human rights and to end war and poverty. Please delete, right? Because this is disrespectful to her family on so many levels. First of all, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was married to her mother. Married. He was a married man. He was married to Coretta Scott King at the time he was deceased. What the hell would he be doing in the club, slow dancing with Sexyy Red, stargazing in her eyes, looking at her, dancing romantically with her? That's just less crazy to even put him in that type of situation, right? Furthermore, when you got the FBI and all of them making up rumors of Dr. Martin Luther King being this serial cheater and all of that stuff that Coretta Scott King denied, right? And you got this image up here, it's really further distasteful. It furthers that. Like, hold on, man. You got the FBI lying on my dad, talking about my dad was sleeping with every woman in town and all of that. And then you got a picture like this looking like y'all out on a romantic date holding hands with each other. Like, no, we not going to do that. We not going to do that, right? Furthermore, when you understand Sexyy Red and her music, when you listen to how vulgar, how raunchy it is, you like, yo, what are you implying with this picture, man? Like, like, it looked crazy. Y'all know it. I remember telling y'all when Sexyy Red released a lip gloss with the most nastiest like names you could ever think of in your life. She had lip gloss that with names like discharge and nut and gonorrhea. It was crazy. And y'all remember when I made that video and I was showing y'all the different colors or different flavors of lip gloss, and it was just all despicable, nasty stuff. The worst stuff you can ever think of in your lifetime, chlamydia and stuff, right? So I'm sure Miss Bernice King, she's very active on social media. She knows Sexyy Red. She knows the music she makes. And she's like, yo, hold on. What are you implying with this picture, Sexyy Red? Like, come on now. We can't be doing that. And so to Sexyy Red's credit, she was, mature in her response. And she held herself accountable. She responded to Miss Bernice King and she said, you ain't wrong. I never meant to disrespect your family. My apologies. I just reposted something I saw that I thought was innocent, right? And she said, my apologies. I didn't mean to disrespect your father. You're not wrong about that, right? But we as black folks, man, we got to stop playing with stuff. There are certain things that are off limits to play with. For real. Like pictures of Dr. Martin Luther King on flyers with girls shaking it, like, come on, man. Girls naked on flyers, Dr. Martin Luther King standing in between them, holding money in his hand, smiling and grinning. Like, stuff like that is crazy. That is crazy. You know what I mean? When you see Dr. Martin Luther King picture in between, again, girls twerking and all of that, and standing posted up with a gold grill in his mouth, and his picture is sitting in the midst of some crazy ignorant behavior in an image. That's wild. And Miss Bernice King has seen these images, right? And she like, yo, like, I can't go at everybody who isn't famous who posts this stuff. But if you famous and you posting it, I gotta let you know about yourself. Like, and she shot down them other images of her father on club flyers and stuff. She shot that down before as well. You know what I mean? Like, I remember when somebody posted a picture of a guy that looked like Dr. Martin Luther King at the Ravens game, at the Baltimore Ravens game, right? This was like last year or something. And she laughed at it. She chuckled at it. She's like, yo, he does look like my dad, right? And she was like, oh, somebody say even Miss Bernice King found this picture funny. She was like, yeah, because he looks like my dad. It's not a disrespectful image of him. It's not an image of him, somebody altering an image of him doing some crazy, distasteful things, or it's not a negative representation of my father. It's simply a man who looks like my dad, and he does, right? And so when she said that, I'm paraphrasing, but when she voiced that on Twitter, that let me know she was against all the images of her father being used on club flyers for like the most crazy, raunchy type events. You know what I mean? And why wouldn't she be against that? And we as black people got to recognize we can't play with everything. We can't play with our leaders of our community, pillars of our community, people who have uplifted our people and tried to lead our people to the promised land as best as possible. People who died fighting for the rights of black folks. For real, we can't play with stuff like that. I know we as people, we want to laugh, we want to chuckle, we like to have fun, we like to crack jokes, but there are certain things that are off limits, and our leaders who have paved the way for us and gave their life for us, even if they didn't give their life, but they were risking their life to make sure we had everything, all these equal rights, and so that we had some somewhat of an equal playing field. And we don't have an equal playing field to this day, but Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. tried to level it as best as possible before he was taken from this earth. You know what I mean? And we got to recognize, hey, that's nothing to play with. We got to be cool on that. That's something we can't be doing that. We got to let that go. We can't play like that, and so I think this was a teachable moment for Sexyy Red. So she realizes, you know what? I can't be doing stuff like that. No. And she will hopefully grow from this, but yeah, I think it was necessary for her to understand why that picture is disrespectful, you know what I mean? And how it could be perceived, and yeah, how it can misrepresent Dr. King in a terrible light. And yesterday I spoke on a video talking about how he's misrepresented in a lot of different ways from our younger generation, looking at him as a sellout. And so many, I shut that down immediately. And so when we have the younger generation also using images of him, playing with his image, we can't let that slide. We cannot let that go. It doesn't mean people don't like to have fun. It don't mean people are uptight. It's just like, yo, some things should be left alone. And Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. is someone who should be left alone. Keep his image as the image that we know of him. You know what I mean? And don't alter no images, because these are fake images. It's not pictures of him really doing crazy stuff. People are making images up of him holding all money all in his hand with gold grills and posted up the girls and strippers and stuff. Like, come on, man. And so we as black folks got to have more respect for our leaders and stuff. But I'm glad that this interaction happened. I'm glad that Sexyy Red understood where Miss Bernice King was coming from. But yeah, we all live and we learn, man. What are your thoughts on this video and this topic? Leave your comments in the comment section below. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, Machiavelli Mills TV. I'm out, y'all. Peace.